Welcome back. As promised, Ibrahim Hooper is the spokesperson, one of the directors for the Council on American-Islamic Relations. This is the nation's largest Muslim civil rights organization. They are an important part of the American fabric, just like every other nationality is. Mr. Hooper, thanks so much for being with us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you heard what the Congresswoman said, and she seemed, I thought the interview with her was going to go more along the lines of the fact that you were getting interns to go into the...
No, it's interesting that she obviously has talked to some PR people who told her that their original talking points that Muslim spies are infiltrating Congress is looking a bit ridiculous.
Well, she seemed to have, but you're right, she seems to have backed off of that,
yeah,
so let's give her her due.
Now, obviously they told her, no, you got to go after CAIR. That's the real thing, because you're looking really bad by smearing American Muslims who are trying to participate in the political system.
So it seems like they were originally, after reading this book, by the way, let's make this clear before we go anywhere with this. This book apparently was written by somebody who had ties with somebody who infiltrated your organization.
Yeah, basically.
They befriended you, right? They fooled you.
There's a guy who we've actually had interviewed by law enforcement for what we perceive to be stalking behavior. He sent his son in, pretending to be a Muslim, praying next to us. I mean, I even jokingly at one time offered to help the guy get married. We were that friendly with him. And all the while, he was stealing our property and lying to us and deceiving us. And after months and months of this lies and deceptions and theft, the most they can come up with is, God forbid, CAIR tried to place interns on Capitol Hill. I mean, we see it more as a clean bill of health than anything else.
Okay, no, you know what? You have a good point there. I think it would be difficult for somebody to say the fact that you want to have interns who could possibly influence the government. I think just about everybody would.
I wish we could place more.
I think every organization would love to have people who could have influence in government, especially if it doesn't cost them anything and all they have to do is have an intern there. So let's leave that aside, because she didn't seem to be contesting that anymore. So let's talk about what she is contesting. Let's talk about what she is contesting. Yeah. She is saying, quite clearly, that you and your organization have ties to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood.
We have no ties of any kind to any foreign group in any shape or form. And I noticed she said, oh, CAIR has never condemned, Hamas has never condemned this. Let me read you a couple lines from as late as March 2009. Quote, this is a CAIR statement. Our position is clear. We unequivocally condemn all acts of terrorism, whether carried out by Al-Qaeda, the Real IRA, FARC, Hamas, ETA, or any other group designated by the U.S. Department of State as a, quote, foreign terrorist organization. She's done as much research as these smearmeisters have in this book. In fact, she admitted, she was quoted in a media article stating, hey, I haven't verified anything in this book, but I'll leave that to others to verify. She writes a foreword to a book that she hadn't verified anything. The guys who wrote this book, one of them has called Islam an evil ideology, called it a terminal disease. He was an employee of a group that whose manifesto said Muslims should serve 20 years in prison for, quote, adherence to Islam. The other guy, Paul Sperry, the co-author of the book, recommended at one time in a commentary putting pig's blood in the water supply of Afghanistan. This is the type of people she's consorting with.
Let me just stop you there, because some of that stuff we did, in fact, read as well in some of our own research.
Yeah.
Some of the others we're not quite sure about. So before we go on too much talking about people who aren't here to protect themselves, let's go back to some of the original points. First of all, I got two things for you. A quick answer, if you can, on this one. The people who you say came into your organization, infiltrated your organization, and stole from you.
Yes.
Are you going to have them charged?
Yeah, we've already filed criminal complaints in Washington, D.C. We're going to file a criminal complaint in Virginia.
I got it.
Okay.
But let me go to the next question. I wanted to get that on the record. The next thing I need to ask you is, she said that the FBI has cut ties with your organization, no longer works with you.
Well, no, that's not exactly true. They've cut outreach ties. In other words, when we do town hall meetings, we used to invite the FBI and those kinds of things. In fact, I got a death threat yesterday based apparently on this book. saying, "I'll soon be hanged," calling me Dougie Hooper. Now, in the book, I'm referred to as Dougie Hooper. My point is,
I asked you a clear question.
Get up. I'm answering you.
Right.
The point is, we contacted the FBI. We work with the FBI on a daily basis on civil rights issues. The only issues we don't work with them on are the community outreach issues. And quite frankly, the entire American Muslim community has issues with the FBI right now.
Finally, what do you think their motivation would be to single out your organization if their information, their allegations are really not confirmed?
Quite simple. CAIR is the most prominent, effective American Muslim organization. It's the old line, the nail that sticks up gets hammered. We are out there, we're vocal, we defend Muslim rights, and this hardcore of anti-Muslim bigots see us as an obstacle that has to be eliminated. In fact, the co-author of the book on his blog yesterday said, "Send me $25,000 over the next 5 days so I can," quote, "destroy CAIR."
Congresswoman Sue Myrick was good enough to join us, and now CAIR spokesperson Ibrahim Hooper refutes some of the things that she has said. I'm glad we had an opportunity to have both of you on so we can hear both sides. My thanks to you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
All right.